All right, diving right in today, we're taking a closer look at, well, this is interesting, Shahril Hamdan joining the board at Wahed. Now, for anyone who's not totally up on, uh, the fintech world, Wahed's this global company all about Shariah-compliant, what they call ethical fintech.
Right. And you sent over the press release, which is great. It lays out, who they are, what they do, and a bit about Mr. Hamdan's background.
Yeah, yeah. But what we want to get into today is like, what does this all actually mean? Why should anyone who cares about, I don't know, financial inclusion, global growth, technology, all that stuff, why should they be paying attention to this?
Exactly. I mean, it seems like a pretty standard board appointment on the surface, but there's actually a lot more going on here.
Okay, so first things first, can we just level set for a sec? Remind everyone what Wahed is all about.
Sure. So Wahed was founded in 2015. And from the start, their mission has been to make investing accessible, keep it affordable, and make sure it aligns with Islamic finance principles.
Right, so Sharia compliant, meaning like all their investment products,
Right.
they follow those specific guidelines.
Exactly. They've got this digital platform that offers different portfolios tailored to different levels of risk. And all of it's, of course, Sharia compliant. And they're not exactly a small player anymore. Over 400,000 customers globally is pretty impressive.
Yeah, that's huge. Speaks to the, I guess, the demand out there for this type of like values-based investing.
Definitely. A lot of people are looking for investment options that align with their beliefs. It's not just about the bottom line.
Okay, so that's WAD in a nutshell. Now let's talk Southeast Asia, because that seems to be a big part of this story.
Absolutely. Wahid's CEO, Mohsin Siddiqui, he's made it pretty clear Southeast Asia is a key focus for them going forward. They see it as a potential global hub.
And I guess that's where Shahril Hamdan comes in.
Precisely. His appointment to the board, it really signals their intent to make some serious moves in Southeast Asia. It's a smart move when you think about it. Huge Muslim population in the region, and a lot of people there are starting to use digital financial services more and more.
Right, right. So let's break down Mr. Hamdan's resume here. Because this guy's done a lot. He was the economic director in the Malaysian Prime Minister's office, part of the National Economic Action Council, so pretty high up in the government. How much would you say that kind of experience matters for a fintech company trying to navigate that region?
Oh, it's incredibly valuable. He's got that inside knowledge of how things work in Southeast Asia. Plus, he's got connections, knows the regulatory landscape. Fintech's tricky. Regulations change from country to country, can be super complex. Having someone who understands all that, well, it can make a big difference.
It's like having someone who speaks the language.
Right?
Not just literally, but figuratively.
Yeah, exactly. And his experience doesn't stop there. He's been a consultant at McKinsey, led an oil field services company, and right now he's the head of Southeast Asia and managing director at GP Bullhound. That's a global tech advisory and investor managing over $1 billion in assets, which they call AUM. So he's not new to the tech investment scene.
Yeah, that's a lot. So how do you see all those different pieces fitting in with what Wahid's trying to do?
It's a fascinating mix, right? He understands traditional businesses, but also the rapidly changing tech world in Southeast Asia. And he's been involved in angel and venture investments, specifically in Malaysia. He gets that whole ecosystem.
And we can't forget, he founded Watchtower Advisory, helps international investors understand Southeast Asia, and he even co-hosts a pretty popular podcast on Malaysian policy and current affairs. So it's not just behind-the-scenes stuff. He's got a public profile, too. Seems to really have a finger on the pulse of what's happening in the region.
And that's important, right? Especially for a company like Wahed that's so focused on understanding their customers and their needs. And when you think about it, everything we've talked about, the government experience, the investment knowledge, even the media side, it all feeds into their mission of financial inclusion and making these values-based products work.
So bottom line, this appointment is kind of a big deal.
Yeah, it's not just adding another name to the board. This is a strategic move, a sign that Wahed is serious about Southeast Asia.
All right, so just to wrap things up here for everyone listening, Shahril Hamdan coming on board. It's a clear sign that Wahed is really committed to expanding in Southeast Asia.
And it's not just expansion for expansion's sake. They're bringing in someone who really understands the region, the financial landscape, the politics, the culture.
All that combined with his experience in consulting, investment, even media. It's a unique perspective that fits perfectly with Wahed's goal of bringing accessible, values-based financial products to the world.
Which brings up a really interesting question for everyone listening. Think about the importance of this mix of skills, regulatory knowledge, investment expertise, and understanding the local market. How crucial is that for ethical and inclusive financial technologies to really take off in developing markets, specifically in Southeast Asia? What other kinds of expertise, what else might be missing from the equation as companies like Wahed continue to grow globally?